I used to be somebody before that freak Caillou sent his armies south and ruined everything. We had a nice racket going on in the land of the Freelords, or what the rest of the Flaness calls the Bandit Kingdoms. We had a territory we ran, and we hustled and stole what we could from who we could. Sure, we fought amongst ourselves, and I'd just as soon stick my dagger into someone from the Freelords as anywhere else. But we always banded together when an outside force threatened all of our businesses. But all that changed when Ayus came a-calling. Half of the Freelords joined forces with Ayus to save their skins, and the other half got wiped out or sent packing to the other lands, or down into the Rift. I was no hero, and neither were any of my mates. So after the massacre of Steelbone Meadows, we did what any guys in our situation would have done. We hightailed it out of there. The only problem is that everywhere we went, there were old enemies waiting. After finally getting corralled by the Ernst soldiers, I was left to rot in a dungeon, waiting for them to decide what to do with me. The way the guards look at us, I don't think we're gonna like what it is they have in store.
Awesome.
That's some grade A producing right there, Adam. Way to catch it early.
You're lucky I cut it at all. It's my night off.
That may have sounded sarcastic. I was completely genuine.
If I was producing, I wouldn't be kicking back some dogfish.
Hey, well, no, you still are. That still counts as producing. You caught the error, and
here's the thing. We should ask Frank. Frank will know because he's there. He's watching. Frank, type in there if you couldn't hear the other fellers. Now, when he says yes, I don't want to hear anything. Anyway, okay, Jairus, go ahead and tell everybody who you're playing.
Oh yeah, so I'm Jairus. I'm playing Raleigh and Morgan, and they're just a couple of fun-loving gals.
There you go.
And they're lovely.
Yes, they're just lovely. Kind of polar opposites, two dudes stuck in one body.
Yeah.
Raleigh doesn't really seem to mind it too much, but I'm sure Morgan not loving it. But
right. There it is.
I'm kind of curious to see. I don't feel like this can't last forever. So
no, I've got plans. Trust me.
Oh well.
We'll talk. So just in case we did miss everybody, for those who are listening to podcasts, Adam, just say the name of your character and say your name.
Adam, playing Talon Ravengard.
Okay, and Michael, do the same.
Michael playing Ashe Umbro.
And, of course, Steve.
Steve playing Wynden Frostfeld.
Okay, so if I did fuck up, which is totally possible, because what would be a production by me not fucking up? I clicked it, though. I know I did. Because I could see the thing, the lines going, and I clicked.
No, I'm sure it was something to do specifically with Streamlabs. Streamlabs, if you'd like to be a sponsor, love to have you.
Yeah, could be.
You know, I was thinking it would be awesome though, with the Raleigh Morgan thing, Etten, and you could have Raleigh.
Oh yeah! Oh my God!
They're arguing with each other.
Oh my God, that would be so. Would you be opposed to growing another head? Oh, that is probably the coolest thing.
Sadly enough, that's also his pickup line. It's his go-to.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really.
I probably just spoiled the whole plot line for you. Sorry about that.
Not really.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, anyway, okay, so there you go. That's everybody who's playing this fine evening. I guess I should throw out there for all of those. You know, we get a lot more play in the secondhand market. We don't do an awful lot live, but no, honestly, because I keep track of the podcast numbers, and we average, I think we're up to like 15 listens per episode off the podcast.
And also watching on YouTube.
A lot more on YouTube, yeah. So, hey, all of those you listening on podcasts or watching us via YouTube.
No, we love you guys.
Yeah, we love you guys, and thanks.
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Now, should we talk about the next couple of weeks now?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's knock that and get it out of the way there. So this will be the last episode for 2 weeks. We'll be taking a break, going on hiatus for Christmas and for the New Year's. And then we will be back, of course, after that. I was thinking, too, when we come back, to do the bad guys. What do you guys think?
Ooh. I want to talk to you guys about that. I got a fun one.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Now, if you've been watching or listening to the podcast, well, to the show, period, you'll know that we had a little interlude where we went and we actually saw what some other people connected to all this different craziness going on. And these we called them the good guys because, well, they were good guys. They were guys
and a lack of imagination.
Well, yeah, of course, or perfect branding. It's you never know. It could be either or.
Either one.
And so we focused on those. So without giving too much away, we're just going to say the next when we come back, we'll have a couple episodes with the bad guys. And then after that, we'll come back. And then, of course, somewhere down the line, all this different stuff's going to start, like, okay, that's kind of tripping me out. Intertwining.
But also, for the next couple of weeks, because you know that you crave, our particular brand of entertainment.
And technical difficulties.
That's all part of the brand.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to, while we won't be streaming Return to the Bandit Kingdoms, we'll be streaming a special 2-part holiday episode. Because Will forgot the whole point of making the announcement and pitching the thing. No, he was gonna have you just not watch for 2 weeks.
No, I was leaving it for you, man. This is
I'm
your
gonna be
show.
Running a special secret holiday 2-shot, possibly with everybody here, possibly with some people here and some other people that I find off the street in Orlando.
What about that guy you saw sleeping outside your hotel down there?
Oh no, yeah, Rodney, he's in.
Yeah,
does he have like the gold voice of a radio DJ? Because those are my favorite, the homeless guys who can.
Yes,
I had a homeless encounter with a man named Horatio that would talk like this, and he had the spoken word piece, and he said, "The man has the money, but he gives it to the woman, and then he has no more money because the woman has it." And then before the subway train would come, he would walk past, and he walked up to me and he said, "Now, brother, can you spare a dime?" And I said, "I'd love to, but I gave all my money to the woman." That is a true story. That is a true story.
Well done, sir.
Walked into that one, Horatio.
Yeah, he did. He did. Also, too, I have, and Adam, I drug along with me to do this as well. I am running for the fall season on the Greyhawk channel. I'm running the Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh over on the Greyhawk
Wouldn't it be
channel.
the winter season?
What did I say? Did I say fall season?
Fall is come and gone.
No.
It's gone, man.
Winter season. There you go.
-3.
Yeah. For the winter season, I'm running that. The first episode was last Friday. So there you go.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Actually, went really, really well. So had fun. Of course, the cast is nowhere near your guys' caliber, but
yeah. One guy was remarkably similar to me though, which was weird.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So anyway, there you go. So that's what's going on.
So come check us out on Friday nights on the Greyhawk channel.
There you go.
And then come back here on Wednesday the 26th, and instead of Tuesday, because it is Christmas Day. And Adam, I don't know. I have nothing to do, but I'm gonna wait till Wednesday anyway to run this game.
There you go.
I think we should run it Christmas night so you can like hear my kids crying in the background. Like, Daddy, why don't you love us?
That would be awesome.
There's no presents, and now you won't even spend time with us.
Tell them Santa's on the way. Get to bed.
All right. Now, continuing with our edumacation series that we do for every episode, this week we have a new word. That word is dissension. Okay? So to say dissension in Bengali, you would say matot badha. Matot badha.
I would say that.
Yeah. In Javanese, it is pene em pan gong, that's a lot to say for just such, And then last but not least, we have almighty Russian, which is razno glasai, which I kind of dig that. I like Russian. I think that sounds great. So
Razno Glasseye may be the name of my bad guy character.
Right? Somebody write that down. That's another really good character.
What was German for death from above again? I want to make note of that. That was good.
Yeah, I'll have to email that to you, sir.
Ode Van something or Van Ode something.
Yeah, it was something.
Exactly.
I never have anything to write with. By the way, I don't take any notes, in case you haven't noticed.
We noticed.
And I don't think Raleigh's written anything down his entire life.
Right? Yeah. No, we noticed. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll start with a short recap. So basically, after the debacle at that's not how you say that word, but you know what I mean.
Debacle?
Yeah, that's what I said. So at Kinmeet, after the debacle at Kinmeet, where Silverwolf unfortunately met his untimely demise, the Pressed Ganged Opportunists made their way back out onto the prairie and hooked back up with Lord Calvert, one of the Jarhassian nobles in, what would you call that, exile? I guess is what they are.
Exile, sure.
Yeah. Okay. And he had been raiding, and he helped them out somewhat during their Kinmeet deal. Then what happened was they went down and were at the edge of the Tangles. And there, Lord Calvert hooked up with, and I know you don't have your notes with you, do you? Do you, Adam? Okay. Whatever that chick's name was that was running the joint down there. Okay. I want to say Marissa, but I don't think that's it.
No, it starts with an R. It starts with an R.
Okay. See, now I'm getting characters from Saltmarsh mixed up with my NPCs. And after they had met, they parted ways from Lord Calvert. Lord Calvert was nice enough. He gave him some horses, and they went upon their way. Again, continuing on towards the Rift. Now, as they are making their way towards the Rift, what ends up happening is they run into a bunch of scouts or something like this coming from Riftkrag. At least they're theorizing this is where it came from. They were these armored vultures with goblin riders, and surprisingly enough, they were able to take him down with relatively not too much difficulty. Talon got beat around a little bit, but I don't think anybody else really.
I was the only one fighting for some time, so that was part
That's
of it.
true. Everybody,
excellent coffee.
Yeah, everybody tried to hide,
Michael made breakfast.
Right?
I mean, Ashe made breakfast.
And then after that combat was over,
because we had a couple of guys following us and joined our
That's
party,
true.
A couple of NPCs.
Yeah, actually, when they were at the Tangles, they met back up with Nordjor, who had made his way back to the Tangles and actually was helping Renea, or Renata, whatever.
Renisha sounds closer. It's not it.
Closer, yeah.
It's closer, but it ain't her. Yeah. So they met, but they also met up with a guy by the name of Trent and Corwin, the monk from the first episode that Silverwolf had cut his hand off.
Episode 1.
Yeah, the very first episode. So they were with him during this entire combat with the vultures. And then what ended up happening is after the vulture attack, there were words exchanged between Ashe and Corwin. Was there somebody else? Or
between Morgan and Corwin.
Was it Morgan and Corwin that started it off?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
I totally
it was.
Morgan and Corwin.
Okay.
Yeah, this was all Morgan.
Morgan and Corwin started the little fight.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So Morgan and Corwin started going at it, and then Ashe jumped in and finished it. Is basically what happened.
Yeah, Morgan had actually banished Corwin.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he
Then when
came
he
back
came back
and attacked poor
trying
Raleigh.
to fight.
Yeah.
Because Morgan switched back into Raleigh. Raleigh got attacked. Ashe helped him. They weren't going to kill him, although Trent, who was Corwin's friend, recommended that they just kill him because this guy was never going to stop.
I don't know if he was. I don't know if Trent's his friend. He was.
Yeah.
He,
well, anyway,
he was a business associate.
Definitely not a good friend.
Yeah, that's
but
not like Harchuck and his gnomish friend Penholt.
Yeah. So, so Talon then took the advice of Trent, realizing that this guy was just going to cause problems once he woke up and was never going to stop fighting. Decided to just put an end to his misery and kill him, which then caused a little bit of a disagreement between Ashe and Talon that almost turned to blows.
Were it not for Ashe's cool demeanor.
Very much so. Very, very much so. And then he wound up killing him.
Yeah.
No, actually, he was taken down, and the coup de grace was performed by who?
Talon.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't remember what the sequence of events were. I just remember a 15-foot Raleigh grabbed him from behind and spiked him like a football.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Right. Then Ashe spared the dying. Or something.
Okay, so that's what took him unconscious, and then you finished him.
Yeah.
And then Talon killed him. And then there was a little battle of the death gods. Verbal edition.
And I had to, Wynden had to keep Raleigh from rampaging and as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So true. So true.
And that's kind of where we left it.
Yep. That is where we left it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll pick up there. Now, what I'm basically got happening here is that everybody is kind of because everybody kind of moved to different areas because Trent and Wynden moved away from the combat and the hulking Raleigh.
Yep.
Then Ashe and Talon had words. And
we're standing nose to nose.
Right. But then afterwards, they kind of went away from each other. You know, it's like that. Well, I'm not going to stand next to you. And Raleigh was kind of left on his own devices. So, and I'm saying that he's kind of like settled down for a short rest.
Yeah.
After see, okay, everybody drink.
So gross. It's so gross. I'm sorry. I can't.
So everybody is there taking their short breaks. Okay. So what I'm going to have happening here is Michael, are you there or? Okay, he's not. I'll do him here in a minute. So this is actually going to be a little bit of individual role playing. So I hate to do this to you guys. So you're going to either need to put yourselves on mute or take your headphones off, except for right now, currently, will be Adam. And then I'm going to make my way around everybody. So what I'm going to do is when it's time, I will go ahead and I will give the okay signal. And then everybody can put their headsets back on.
In Brazil, that means asshole.
Does it really? Well, you know, is it Britain? That's fuck you, right?
Yeah.
It's the reverse.
It's
of the
something like racist.
Okay, I just put my headphones back on. And really weird going on here, so I must have missed something.
Okay,
no, we're all cool.
Yeah,
everyone's
so
cool.
I was just explaining to him we're going to have this is going to sort of be like some quick individual role playing right quick. So everybody's going to take their headsets off. And
okay.
But I want to start with you, Michael. Are you ready for that, or should I give you a little bit?
So we're not.
Sure.
Okay, so everybody else take your headsets off, and then when I give you the okay sign, you can go ahead and put your headsets back in, or go ahead and unmute you. Okay.
Right. I'm going to go start my oven up for cookies. I'll be right back.
All right, cool. All right. So, Michael, so when, as this the heatedness of the situation kind of simmers down and everybody goes to their corner, so to speak, you come over and to wherever you're at and start doing whatever preparations you're wanting to do before you guys continue on. And the Salus zombie / skeleton thing is there with you. And as you're going about tidying up your packs or whatever, you have this feeling and you look up and you notice that the Salus Zombaskel is looking at you and the eyes are glowing in a different way and you feel a presence within inside of this undead creature. And you know it's the presence of Neural. And you hear this echoing voice come from the zombie, and it says, "What are you going to do to help my cause?"
I will just kind of look at it and say, what is needed?
It doesn't say anything.
Well, that's what I'm going to do then.
That's a good answer. Then the same voice echoes again from it. "What will you do about the Raven Queen's pet?"
I don't like it. I think it should be given the gift of all.
Excellent. And it's almost as if the skeleton kind of like nods slightly. And then another question comes, and it's, "How will you bring my judgment upon those that defy me?"
I take no prisoners and spare no lives. I will take them to carcery.
These answers are acceptable. And then the energy that you saw within the eyes fades, and you can feel that the presence of Neural has departed from the Salus Zamba skull thing. As you go back to getting yourself ready, there's something laying in the ground next to you, and you take a look, and it's a two-handed scythe.
Okay. I look at it from without touching it at first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it's some kind of a reward item.
You'd probably be correct in that assumption.
All right.
Are you going to pick it up?
Eventually. Actually, I will command the zombie to pick it up.
Okay. The zombie comes over and hefts it up. No problem. It is not like in shape, it's like a farmer's implement, but the blade is jet black and looks wickedly sharp, of course. The wood is not like normal wood, but it's like highly polished black oak.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem nothing adverse has happened to the zombie skeleton Ashe that picked it up.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
I'll let the zombie skeleton carry it for a while.
Okay. All right. Whenever you decide to pick it up, let me know, and I shall tell you what it. You know what? I'll just tell you right now what it does.
All right.
Because I don't trust myself to whisper it to you in chat correctly. Okay. It is a +2 weapon that does an extra 1d6 necrotic damage, and it does 1d10. And if you crit, you gain life half of whatever damage was done on the crit.
Okay.
But that's all you know about it. You do not know if there's anything else mysteriously connected to it, not without any type of like magic or anything. You would have to, of course, attune to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. That's it. All right. I'm going to bring the rest of the fellas back in.
Oh, you're not going to do them all one at a time?
Yeah, I am. So I'm gonna, but I need to let them know who's gonna go next.
All right,
all right, gentlemen. Okay, so I'm bringing you guys in so that I can kick some of you back out again. So is all. So who would like to go next? Any volunteers, or I'll just pick.
Okay, I feel like Adam. We were ready for Adam.
All right. We'll do Adam. Same thing. Go ahead, mute yourself, take off your things, whatever you need to do. I'll give the okay sign when it's done. Okay. All right. So you're basically over, doing your short rest and what have you after the combat. Everybody's gone their separate ways. And as you go through, like getting your packs ready or what have you for travel,
I don't have any stuff.
Well, as you sit on the ground contemplating,
I just sit there till I'm sitting there, sort of cross-legged, relaxing.
Okay. All right. Looks like we got a little. There we go. Okay, that's good now.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happens when you travel. So, as you're sitting there, a raven comes out of the sky and then lands close to you, and then hops towards you. Okay, it's a big raven too.
It's fine.
Yeah. And basically, it comes out. The queen is pleased with you. She feels that she is selected well. But you have a warning from the queen. You should do well to watch the one called Ashe.
Yes, I believe he is a bit misguided.
Yes. Also, the queen wishes me to remind you what your mission is. And do not.
I understand the mission.
Get caught up in all the emotions that might come forth.
And what do you know of this bird?
I'm just a messenger.
This is a recording.
If you were to do an insight check on the bird, you would think it's lying to you.
Yeah,
okay.
I can tell. Without even doing an inside check, I can tell it's lying to me.
Right. Remember, you have many enemies now. As well as the Shadow King. There are the false Caraptuses. And if you insist on allying with these ones, Ayuz is your enemy too.
All of a sudden, there's something. There's a thought somewhere in the back of my head that I can't quite form into anything substantial. And I say, my enemies may be many and they may be powerful, but they are all, when it is said and done, inconsequential. For I shall reach my goal, and the queen shall be pleased.
She is pleased so far. She wishes to thank you.
There's no need to thank me. I work for the queen.
And it just turns, starts hopping a little bit, jumps into the air, and then starts flying. And as it does that, it takes your vision, which was looking down here at the bird, which was pretty much in front of you. And then as it moves your vision across, and as you see it jump and start to fly away, you see sticking there in the ground next to you is a sword.
Oh, yeah?
It is a jet black sword. It appears...
That's interesting.
It is of a metal that is... It appears like almost polished onyx. The hilt, and where normally there would be leather wrappings and whatnot around the guard, it's all the same. Mm-hmm. It's almost as if everything is cast from one solid piece.
I will walk over to that sword,
Mm-hmm.
and attempt to pick it up.
Okay. As you pick it up, a bolt of cold comes out of the sword through your hand, up your arm, and envelops your body. It's a cold that is on the borderline of pain, but doesn't quite get there, and then it subsides. But you know that what you hold in your hand is a gift, and it is a gift to help you ensure what your task is. This sword is a +2 longsword that does an additional 1d6 cold damage to it. And if you crit with the sword, you gain an additional attack.
I look at the sword and I don't even look at anywhere else. I just stare at the sword and I say, "Thank you, my queen. I shall use this well and in your honor." And then I would like to meditate on this sword.
Mm-hmm.
And have it become one with me.
Okay, it is your.
And I don't know how long that takes because I don't have my books with me.
I'm pretty sure it's a short rest, but we're going to say it is.
I'm pretty sure it is too. Yeah.
so okay.
Yeah. And then it, the shadows engulf it and engulf my arm, and then disappears.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So
after a good amount of time of me sitting there with it.
All right. I'm going to bring the other fellas back in. All right.
Okey-doke.
Okay. There it is.
It's obviously going to be Jarrus since Steve is not.
Correct. Okay.
Am I good at this or what?
You're very good at this. So Jarrus, we're going to go with you, and we're going to do Steve last, obviously, because, well, Steve's not there. So go ahead and...
I'll save the best for last. I get it.
Yeah.
He's the wizard.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so as everybody has gone about their business and separated out, and they're starting to, this was after the horses were rounded up, so everybody's kind of like taking a short rest and getting prepared for the next leg of the journey. Raleigh's kind of calming down still,
Yeah.
because of the hulking out episode that he had. So it is still Raleigh, correct?
It is. Yeah, it is Raleigh.
Okay.
Yep.
So as Raleigh sits there, he starts to hear a tweeting of a bird, but it's got kind of like that electronic echo to it, sort of thing.
Okay.
And as you look up, you see like this little dot on the horizon. Well, not that far away, but coming towards you. And as it gets closer and whatnot, you start to hear the mechanical whirl of like metal wings. And eventually there's this little brass bird flying around you. And it stops and it lands on Raleigh's shoulder. You're not Morgan.
He starts petting and he's like, "Well, hello there, little fella. My best friend is a mechanical owl."
Yeah, I hear that all the time. So hey,
what the?
And he's a little thing. He's like a little finch.
I dig your whole thing, man. The juxtaposition, I get it. That's cool. All right.
Yeah. So, hey, where's Morgan?
I don't know. He's back there somewhere. He's fishing around in the old noggin.
Well, can you do something? I need to talk to him. I don't need to talk to you.
Yes. All right. Give me a math problem, like a tough one.
All right. What's 2 + 2?
Come on. Don't I know 2 + 2 is 5. Come on.
Nope. See, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Oh, I know. I have a sense of humor. Come on, give me something.
All right. 548,000 divided by 68 million. How about that?
Is that a real number?
Yeah, those are all real numbers, and you can do that with math.
And then you see his face. There's whoop, and Morgan appears, and he's like, "All right, I don't know the answer to that, but I don't feel so overwhelmed by it that I have to run away. Hello, little bird."
Now you recognize this bird. Okay.
Oh, excellent.
These birds are actually the constructs and messengers that are used by one of the Lord Mages of the Academy from Critwall.
Oh, wow. All right.
And it is one Lord Oxar. He's a mage, but he goes by Lord because he's of standing within, the Border Kingdom and whatnot. The Shieldlands. What am I saying? Border Kingdom. I slipped into Hyperborea there for a second. And you haven't seen one of these for some time, of course, because you
right. No, and he would be immediately like happy, shocked, and then it starts to click. He's like, "Wait, you know who I am. How do you know about the I'm stuck in this man's body?"
Yeah, it's called magic. Yeah, remember when you went to school and learned about that stuff?
Well, yes, but this is clearly something went wrong. I think it was with a teleportation circle, but
yeah.
Is this common? I've never heard of this before.
Well, maybe if you'd stuck around and actually talked to the Lord Mages of the Academy, maybe you'd have found out. But anyway, 6 of one, half dozen another. That's not my job. My job is just to find you.
Your job is just to make passive-aggressive statements to...
You got it.
I assume you're here for a reason.
Well, yeah, it's to tell you something. So, Lord Oxar has told me to come find you, which I have, and to tell you that against his better counsel, Alicia, did I say it right? Alicia wishes to send word to her husband that she wishes your return so that you might come and be a father to your son. And that is the favor, Lord Oxar, who, by the way, could care less if you come back. That's free. Just so you know, it's not actually part of the message, but I'm just letting you know how it feels. She wanted me to, she told him that, and then I'm here. So, I'm allowed to take back a message if you so choose.
So, his face just goes like really grave. Mm-hmm. And then it's just not grave, but it's like hit with a whole bunch of stuff. Like he assumed that his everyone thought he was dead.
Right.
So he's happy to know that his wife knows he's alive, and he's going to be a father. So, and there's just so much in his head, and it takes him a minute to process. And he goes,
and the calculation in your head would already tell you that this kid's already been born because you've been gone for some time.
Yeah, it's been some time.
Yeah.
But the big thing, like that's mostly running through his head, is this whole time Morgan has felt like a prisoner. Like if someone had asked him, like if the bird had asked him what had happened, he would have said that he was kidnapped and he has been held prisoner this entire time. And otherwise he would have come home immediately. And it's true. Right. He can get control of Raleigh, but never Raleigh can be Raleigh for months on end. Morgan never gets more than like a day.
Right.
So there's no way. And that's now what's going through his head is he has a baby. He has his wife who he has wanted to get home to this whole time, but now it's even more so. And he is a prisoner, and he's trying to reconcile that.
Yeah, totally.
And finally, he speaks and he goes, "Does Alicia know what I am? What has become of me?"
She has an idea. Oh wait, yeah, she's got an idea. I'll tell you that Lord Oxar knows. But he's given her a little bit. He saved some of her emotions, if you know what I'm saying. But, Lord Oxar, and this is, this, Alicia's family and Lord Oxar are pretty tight because of parents and stuff. And so, he would definitely be, hooking this up as a favor to the family.
Sure.
Yeah.
please tell my dearest wife that I will do everything in my power to return to her as quickly as I can, and she should not worry. Tell Oxar, however, that I am being held captive. I've had my soul stolen, and I am in. My situation is dire.
Yeah.
I'm trapped inside this fool, and I've been slowly gaining ground, but he has the steering wheel, and I fear there is no way to make him return to Critwall.
Well, Morgan, you're kind of a good egg, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of advice. This is strictly coming from me, okay? Bolt, okay? So, he's not going to really help you unless you go there and then you force him to help you.
I understand.
And it has really nothing to do with the fact that, it's not that he doesn't care for you. You're just so low down on his priority list. He's got IUs and they're still fighting over there, so it's like...
yes.
But if you were to show up, maybe he would help. I mean, he definitely would try and do something to save face and definitely, for the other family. And that's just between me and you. That's just me kicking you a bone in a favor.
Well, thank you. And thank you for coming all this way.
It's my job. So, okay. Well, with that being said, I'm out.
Wait.
Yep.
Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a boy. You have a son.
What is his name?
They never told me that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, I'm out. Bye. And it just buzzes off and goes away. So, all right. I'm going to bring in the rest of the guys so I can have the last one. All right, Steve, it's going to be you. You're the last one.
All right.
Okay. So, all right. So while all this is going on, and everybody has gone about their ways, you were standing over there with Trent when everything happened, right? And then after everything kind of cools down and the people go to sulk in their individual corners and whatnot, Trent's just kind of sitting here and you go, so you're working with these guys, huh? So,
yeah. I mean, I've been with Raleigh since this all began. We've lost pretty much everyone else who was with us originally.
Yeah. Okay. No, fair enough. So the other ones who really got skin in this game with you is this Raleigh character, the one that grew real big and then kind of just pulverized Corwin there. That guy.
Yeah, he's the only one, as far as I know, out of who remains who has had their souls stolen. But I don't know if he really has internalized that to the same extent that most people would have.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're going to find some more specifics if we can find this corpse. There's a big if there. But you do realize that whatever this Iusian chasing people around stuff is, that's all just a ruse, right?
I wouldn't be surprised at all if it were correct, yes.
Well, now you seem like a dependable type of guy, and I mean, you don't have zombies walking around with you, and you're not manifesting shadow stuff out of the middle of the air or growing huge. And I'm pretty sure that guy's got a split personality, but
Yep.
I'm pretty much planning on going back to Ernst. I'm pretty sure that's where my soul's at, and that's where I want to get a hold of my fucking soul. The hell with this chasing around these Iusians trying to please somebody. So I think you should come with me.
That's not bad. Do you have a plan for when you get there?
Well, I've got some people I know there, but I also got some people down in Red Hand that I know, and I know they were sending guys over to Red Hand too that didn't have souls, and maybe they found out something. I'm really hoping that whatever the information that my Durton, the guy who we're going to hopefully find his body, I'm just kind of hoping that maybe he had some more information. But man, I mean, let's put it this way: going around Ernst and just beating the bushes until I find something, it's got to be way better than sticking around here fighting Iusians for who knows what, for whatever purpose that might be.
That's probably true. Well, that is a interesting offer. I will have to consider that. Thank you.
Yeah, because I hate to say it, man, point it out, but I don't know if I would trust these guys.
Oh, I don't really trust them. They're just exceedingly competent in a very narrow range of skills.
All right. So, still plan on going to the Rift then?
Well, I say we find out what we can find out. If we can find this body or something along those lines, and then I will adjust my plans accordingly.
Fair enough. And just so you know, I wasn't tight with Corwin. I mean, he was his own man. But that Raleigh, and especially that Death Priest, yeah, all it would take is you getting in the wrong way of their opinion.
Yeah, they're somewhat unsettling. I agree.
All right. Well, fair enough. Let's get together and let's go see if we can find this corpse.
Sounds good.
All right. Adam's not paying attention. There he is. Now Michael's not paying attention. Look up, Michael.
I was just in the process of telling Michael that we weren't back. So, oops.
Okay, so what I need now from everybody is perception rolls.
I'm going to go ahead right now and declare that I rolled a 0.
All right, cool.
Because I am very deep in contemplation and thought, sitting as I stare towards Salus.
Okay, so
I got a 14.
14. And what does Raleigh get?
You want to roll for me? It's taking a minute for roll 20 to load.
I'll roll for you.
I think Morgan's modifier is +5 or +6, something like that.
Hey, there we go. Okay, cool. All right.
You rolled an 18.
So,
right.
What that means
with
is
the modifier.
It's all high enough that essentially each of you noticed, except for Ashe, because it actually did start with Ashe, and then all these other things kind of happened right at the same time as what was going on with Ashe, or right afterwards. So a large raven, landed and kind of like walked around Talon for a little while, and then flew off. What appeared to be some sort of small mechanical bird went over and talked with Raleigh, and then flew away.
Right.
And I guess the rest of you would have just seen Trent and Wynden just in like a conversation that seemed serious, but not like, Shakespearean or any shit like that. You know what I mean? So,
Did we see? What did we see Ashe talk to?
Actually, yeah. Thank you. You saw what appeared that Ashe was having a discussion with this Salus zombie / skeleton.
Yeah.
And now the zombie skeleton Salus is holding a big black sigh. Kind of like a flag bearer. Which I never had before. So.
And
that's pretty cool.
And Trent and you guys did notice that when the raven left, because you had to go through your ritual, so they would have seen it anyway.
Yeah. I wasn't hiding it.
A black sword kind of like just materialized and was stuck in the ground next to Talon. And then Talon took the sword and like set it on his knees or whatever. You can tell him whatever the ritual was that he did.
Yeah, I just sort of sat there holding it in my hands like this. And eventually, after some time, shadow just started to swirl around it and around me. And then it had disappeared.
Man, you guys are so creepy, all of you.
And yet you stay with.
Right
now.
Good answer.
Okay, so what's going to happen now is, unless anybody had anything that they were going to be doing, you guys were going
to test my sword out on Ashe. No, I'm just kidding.
I would be a very easy time because actually, you'll notice what I'm doing. I actually go through all of my packs and removing like bits of clothing, and seem to be throwing a lot of it away or just tossing it off to the side until I kind of settle upon a new outfit, which I then kind of roll up and bundle up and also give to Salas to carry. And then I put it back on just a simple tunic before I sit and stare at Salas some more.
You have shed your lawful following of St. Cuthbert? Is this what I'm hearing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I've shed many things, but I have not shed that.
Yeah, I find that very interesting.
Excellent.
I don't share that with anybody, but with the audience.
But of course. Okay, so what ends up happening is you guys go ahead and get your horses together, because you guys remember I said that you were able to go and collect them after the battle before you did your short rest, and you start riding off into the distance. Trent is leading the way. So, and he's trying to take you in the general direction with the assistance of Bruce. Is Bruce going to come out and assist, or is he just going to relay the information that Bruce has relayed to you?
Morgan's too preoccupied. He's just kind of being led along, like following, only vaguely aware of where he is or what's going on. He's definitely, his mind is somewhere else.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
so now, out of curiosity, when all this was happening, as I was, because we noticed, basically what folks were doing, maybe I don't remember, did Raleigh change back into Morgan prior to this happening or during the conversation? Because I would have paid attention to that.
During the conversation.
And what happened? What did I see when that happened? And now I was far away, so I wouldn't have heard anything. But
well, here's the thing. I'm making an assumption. Jarrus, what did happen? Because, I mean, that was kind of a heavy moment. Did Morgan take the time to change the coat? Fix the hair? Or was he just preoccupied with his little metallic thread?
No, it's... Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
I mean, I could see that there is a physical difference between the two. Like in my imagination, like I always picture Raleigh kind of like lackadaisical and kind of slouchy. And when Morgan's in charge, it's more of a military, straight back sort of deal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so with just as something as simple as slicking back the hair and wearing reasonable clothes, the way they conduct themselves is so that they almost don't even look like the same person. Like if Raleigh walked by you and then Morgan walked by you a minute later, you'd be like, hey, those are two people.
Right.
But yeah, so even like, cause I'm trying to think about in the way it went down, he wouldn't have bothered fixing his hair or switching the coat or anything. He would be too focused on what was happening. But to anyone watching, they still would have you'd be able to see the moment where relaxed Raleigh becomes prim and proper Morgan. Just the posture and just much stiffer and. Okay. But no, not the typical switching of the coat and that sort of deal.
Gotcha. Can I do an insight check?
So what Talon would have seen.
An insight check as to.
No, I'm not very good at this. I want to see if I can tell like his. My insights are. I'm not very insightful. 11.
Well, you don't know us very well yet.
Yeah.
No. So.
Silverwolf would have had advantage. He would have known all about it.
Right.
Brand new.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean that's basically what you gather. Okay.
I just find him very interesting.
If you were watching his body language,
Yeah.
it went from like initially like kind of surprised and happy to then quickly much more serious.
I look at it like this.
Tone.
Raleigh's disposition physically and how he moves and operates is like a beat poet.
Mm-hmm.
And Morgan is a guy who's in the military academy. That's in my mind. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just interested in
Poets
the
in
transition.
the ballpark.
Yeah. Yeah, I was interested
Sorry, go ahead.
in
The
I was
transition.
interested in the transition and what that looked like. That was all.
Okay. All right. So
Sure. So you see,
Mhm.
you see Raleigh talk to this little bird for a little bit, and then he his face gets like he's concentrating really hard. He's kind of sting. He kind of shakes his head a little bit, and then it just boom, Morgan, just like that.
Okay.
Which is not
Thank you.
usually how the transition takes place. It usually doesn't have any like seizure or there's no like more. It's just
Right.
it's just a switch.
okay. So unless anybody else has got something to do,
I'm good.
okay. All right. So you guys start going along and riding off. We're going to go ahead. Is anybody going to help Trent?
I mean, sure, I'll do what I can. It's not.
I'm
my
not-
fault.
I mean, well, let's put it
yeah,
this
I
way:
don't-
you guys are looking for a battleground in singed,
Yeah.
like earth.
I
and
can
I'm
help with
stuff like that.
I am proficient in survival.
Yeah,
what
that's
was
that's
Trent's
what
friend's
tracking
name
is.
that we killed?
Corwin.
We
Corwin.
collected his body, so
Okay, so you guys see that.
You can have the body. I already released the soul.
Ooh, that was kind of, that was a dig, right?
That was a dig,
Yeah,
right?
Okay, I was just trying to make sure, Ugh, I'm so new to all these things. Okay, so yeah, so you guys start going along, and if you're tracking is out of the survival skill, so
Right.
you're able to as well. So I'm going to go ahead and give a roll for him, and then we'll do. You can also let's see here.
Man, it's slow. Oh, I got a 14.
Oh yeah, he's got it. He's got it.
Oh yeah.
So with the information that he had gleaned before from Morgan and Bruce, because Bruce did a reconnoiter, and actually Bruce
Right.
went far afield and found, if you remember, found it, and then what was thought to be where the battle had occurred. Okay,
Oh,
so
right. Yeah.
yeah. So with that information, Trent finds it relatively easy. You guys travel for, I don't know, we're going to say because, gosh, when Bruce went looking, he was gone pretty much the majority of the night. So we're going to say about half of the day you guys go, and you come upon this battle scene. Now, you do know that you're getting closer to the rift, okay? So you're like pretty much a day's ride out from the rift, okay?
Yeah.
And the plains where you're at right now are slightly rolling a little bit, and there is you like kind of crest this one low hill, and down in this slight depression area there is where a wildfire, a grass fire had been for a little while, and it's big because like whatever fire was, it burned for a while. So this burnt area where this battle took place is kind of big. So now you guys can start searching for the corpse. Trent will get off of his horse, and he's going to get his axe out, and then he's just going to go and start looking through. So anybody who wishes to,
I am definitely.
okay.
searching.
So
Yeah.
go ahead and give me some perception checks.
Sure.
Man, he's on
How
fire.
about, I guess it's the same. Well, how about an investigation check?
Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, Trent's going to find it already, so it doesn't really matter.
He also knew where it was. It's kind of cheating. I got a 7. I guess
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
And Ashe actually isn't paying the least bit of attention. He's just kind of going through motions right now.
Okay.
Just kind of there.
Okay, so after a
The group
while...
was leaving, so he left kind of thing, you know.
Gotcha. So I do have a question. What did you do with Salis? Did you just like leave her behind?
Threw her
or
up on a horse. And,
threw her on the back of your horse too? Okay. All right.
If nothing else,
so you're riding with 2 corpses. One that is severely
nothing else, I'll
decomposed.
tie a rope to myself and hover above the horse. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
would think
mine.
that you're okay with the stench by now, though.
It doesn't really bother me at all. No, I mean I've been with death my entire life, so
Right?
it's nothing new or even unusual for me.
Yeah. Groovy. Okay.
Oh, yeah. By the way, my accursed specter has been just following me around too.
Yeah.
I got that little dude until
Yeah, that's
until my next long rest.
yeah. Just kind of
All
reinforce.
right, that was one of the goblins.
Yeah, one of the goblins. He doesn't smell though.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk much either. It's right.
No, he doesn't say a
Quiet.
word. He's very quiet.
Hey, Steve, kind of reinforces something, doesn't it? Okay,
You
so
never know when you're going to need one. I don't really know what he does or what he can do, but I like having him around.
all right. Okay, so basically, what ends up happening here is that Trent leads you, boom, right there, and then once you get there, Trent starts going around the battlefield, and you can see that he's sort of like going through the motions in his head, and like he'll do like a step, and you can tell that he's reenacting what happened in his mind, you know, and he's like, okay, so it was like. Okay, and then he looks and goes, yeah, and then he'll like go over to a certain area, look, and he'll find something and go, okay. And then after about a good 15 minutes of that, he goes, all right, I found pretty much the remains. Now, they're pretty split up and now scattered all over the place, but I can show you where the pieces and the parts are at. But man, I can't tell heads from tails on any of these guys. I don't know which one was Darton or which one is this or that or yeah. So and if you guys want to help me just kind of gather this stuff up, I mean, hey, Death Priest, what do you need to talk to these guys? Can you tell like human skulls from goblin skulls and stuff like that?
Found a femur.
If the flesh is gone?
I can. If
All
I
right.
choose to speak with them today.
Okay. I thought that was what we were coming over here for. I mean, my boy Durkin had a lot of information that we pulled up out of that Riftkrag castle. Should I bother to pick these things up? I mean, what's going on? I'll just go grab all the skulls. How about that?
After them.
So he goes around and he starts collecting the skulls. And then he gets 15 skulls and he puts them down on the ground in a pile. And some are in obvious forms of decay and different things like that. One of the big things is like the roaming predators, the wild dogs that roam the steppes have gotten to those bodies. So they've been eaten. Essentially what it is. And a lot of them, the bones have been even cracked and, licked marrow has been looked out of it and stuff. So he's gotten together a smorgasbord of different variations of skulls that are cracked and smashed and different forms of decay. And he's got them all sitting there. And he's like, yeah, I got no fucking clue which one of these guys is Dirk.
All right.
I'm just kind of sitting there, just I'll respond to questions if asked, but I'm just very much not in the moment right now.
So
I will walk over to is it Morgan? I guess right now, Morgan and
Yes.
Wynden, and just say, May I have a moment of your time?
Yeah, sure.
And then I'll walk.
Morgan is still on his horse. Like he just they
Okay.
came to a stop, and he's still like.
All right, then.
And
Yeah.
he kind of interrupts him. Go ahead.
If you're still out of it, I'm not going to bother with you.
I mean, if you speak to him, he'll come back. But that's just like everybody. I'm sure everybody else by now has gotten down. He's kind of looking through the field, and he's just kind of like hasn't really noticed that we've stopped.
Got it. So if you're off on your own still when we first came in, then I will just go over to Wynden, and then if you agree, I'll just take I'll take a number of steps away from Ashe.
Sure.
How well do you know this cleric of Nerul?
Not exceedingly well. He kind of joined us under odd circumstances, but then again, I guess all of this has been an odd circumstance, so.
Indeed. There is something wrong with this man. And beyond what you would normally expect from a man who worships a god such as this.
Okay, what do you have any particulars for me here?
I do not know. All I do know is that this man right now is integral to us finding Caraptus.
Okay.
And finding Caraptus means understanding how to get your soul back.
Okay.
This cleric will not listen to me. He may listen to you. We need him to find... What the fuck was this guy's name? D'Artagnan? Darton.
D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan. One of the skulls has this really fancy hat that with a wide brim. One side's up. It's got a feather in it.
We need him to find Darton. And we need him to speak and learn the secrets that Darton found in those papers.
Right. Well,
Without him, this entire journey has been a waste of time.
I mean, sure, I'll do what I can. I mean, I don't know. He looks a little out of it. My other friend over there looks a little spacey. I don't really know what's going on with everyone here, honestly. But yeah, if I can, I'll do what I can to get him to find out what we need.
I appreciate your help, and that is for the good of all of us.
Sure. I mean, I'm assuming you're not worried about your soul?
Now, my soul belongs to the Queen of Shadows. That being said, I have but one mission, and that is to stop Caraptus. If I cannot, then what happened to your souls is but, how you say, a piece of cake to what will happen to mine.
Right then. Sure. Yeah, why not? I mean, I love talking to people. It's great.
Good times, man. Good times.
Very well. So yeah, I'll just sort of go ahead.
And I'll hang back. I'm hanging.
I'm still hovering about 5 feet off the horse.
Okay.
Tied to it.
Hey Ashe, how's it going up there, buddy?
I'm just kind of sitting there, staring.
Right. Great. Good. So this is kind of like your thing with the whole skulls and dead people and all that jazz.
Has been my entire life.
Do you think you might be amenable to kind of doing some of that right now? Because that would be aces.
Do you know what the order of the billets are?
No.
I
don't.
I'm surprised. They
They
are the protectors of the faithful for the Saint Cuthbert. Did you know that?
Probably not. I don't have a very thorough education.
Yes. Do you know who the Knights of the Merciful Sigh are?
Would I know any of these things, Will, or no?
It's always a possibility. I mean,
let's
if you
just
want
say
to
for sake-
roll, it's up to you.
I'll just say, for sake of argument, let's say I do not.
Okay. They're ghost hunters. They
Ghost
put the restless dead to sleep.
Okay, that sounds useful.
Work for Nerul.
Okay.
As you can quite imagine, Nerul would like all of the restless dead put to sleep because then they go to Carcerie. Which one would you rather work for?
Ghost hunter. What's so the options are ghost hunting or St. Cuthbert people?
Yes.
I mean, I'm assuming the pay is equal.
Why not?
Well, I always like to make the most. I don't have enough information to work with entirely, but if assuming the pay and benefits are roughly equal, it sounds less dangerous to work for the first group.
Yes. And yet I find myself working for the second.
You have to. Okay. Let me back up here. So you're saying you're working to be a ghost hunter,
Knight of the Merciful Sigh, yes.
and is this against what you wanted?
I don't know. You see what Salas is carrying.
Yeah, I kind of see that. Didn't really know what to make of it. It looks like a really scary scythe.
Yes. I can only interpret the sign, of course. But I can only understand it to be an invitation to join that group.
And what would that entail?
Much worse things than I have ever endured to this point. In the name of a deity that I care not for. So therein lies my complexity today.
So I thought. Okay,
Ash is having an existential crisis.
Right?
So these.
I just got a cool new sword.
So these scythe people, they work for Nerul?
Yes?
And I thought you worshipped Nerul.
Only because I must.
Why must you?
Because if I did not, I would be put to death.
There's a lot I'm missing here. Why would you be put to death?
When I was 5 years old, I was sold to the Nerulians to be a sacrifice. They found my abilities useful and kept me alive instead.
Well, that's okay. That's admittedly not great. But like, can't you just be free of them now? Like, you're not there. You're out in the world. You're roaming around.
And they just point to the sigh. It appears not.
Oh, so right. So
You want to talk to these skulls?
yeah.
You know what only makes me feel better? Skull talking.
I can totally see it's like, I don't know what the fuck to say.
I slowly start to drift downwards, actually, as I turn to finally face Wynden there, and just kind of give a sigh of not complete giving up, but some acceptance in that sigh.
So I'm not much for, people's personal dealings, but am I getting the impression you would have rather actually been a St. Cuthbert advocate than what you are right now?
Or a druid like my mother.
Well, I'm sorry life has dealt you such a rather unfortunate hand. I mean, of course, you are by far not alone in that company. But maybe if you look at all these skulls and talk to them, you'll realize you're not good at it, and that side thing will go away. Something to think about.
I'm really, really good at it. Most clerics would be unable to speak to these skulls because they lack skin, mouths. I can talk to them.
Okay, that would be great.
You wish that?
I mean, There's a lot of things I wish a lot more, but that seems to be what we need at the moment.
If you only
You
had
were
one
Bromir's
wish,
friend, correct?
I'm sorry, what's that?
You were Bromir's friend. You called him Three Toes.
As much as I think he has or had friends, yes.
Then in our name of our mutual friend, I will do this for you.
Well, thank you.
With that, I finally finish settling to the ground and start looking at some of them and glance around and say, okay, which one does this belong to? Which one does this belong to? Start tossing them away as I get answers. Finally pick up one. All right, who's this one? Then this must be the one I need. I kind of glance around again. Are you here? Do I need to cast this spell?
No, he's there.
I'm gonna. Once he finds these, it stops tossing skulls and just holding on to one. I'm gonna walk closer. I'm gonna be sort of behind him though, if possible, because I don't think we had a good start to our relationship.
I would, yeah, that's it. I would assume that once you start walking a little bit closer to him, there's like this undead Salus carrying a scythe that kind of just like mirrors your every step.
Yeah, no, she can hang out near me because I'm a little concerned about her.
Really? Are you?
I'd rather keep her close, actually, and know where she is at all times.
Groovy.
You got your goblin mirroring Salus, who's mirroring you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's like a Western showdown. Everybody's like. All right. So before we get any further into this part of it, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break. So of you who are out there watching, please go ahead, refresh your beverages, watching, listening, whatever you're doing, however you're enjoying this great media. Go get refresh your beverages, get you some snackage on, go to the potty, what have you, and we will be back momentarily. Okay.
We'll be right back.
And there they all are. Everybody should hear us now. We're back.
Hey.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yes.
I got to turn on.
Very few people look at that.
I'm not double checking you, but I'm going to double check you.
Hey, I have no problem with people double checking my ass. That's for damn sure. So testing.
Me too, but people are very rarely checking out my ass once, let alone twice.
Well, why don't you get up and no? I'm just kidding. So
On that
really
note,
bringing the viewers.
Okay, so we're back.
let's get back to talking about the dead and stop checking out Jairus's ass.
Right. Okay, so we're there, and Ashe has got the right skull. Now, the spirit of Darton is a lot. Because you're used to seeing ghosts and what have you, but even Darton's spirit seems to be like a copy of a copy. It doesn't seem to be, and there's actually quite a few of them, 4 as a matter of fact, that are very similar in the fact that they're not as vibrant of a ghost as, say, like the goblins and the gnolls that are here. So. And you surmise this maybe has something to do with the fact that their souls were not present with them when they perished, but merely an imprint of what their souls had been.
Echoes of echoes.
Echoes of echoes. You got it. You've got it. But it is still enough for you to draw a connection with them. Now, what we are going to say is... first of all, I guess what I should ask is, do you have the Speak with the Dead memorized? Is that a spell?
I do.
Okay, good. Because that is going to be necessary. These spirits, unlike a lot of the other spirits that tend to just like pop in and out and you tend to have able to communicate with, you're going to need that extra oomph to really draw, for one, the line to them, and for two, to be able to communicate with them properly. Like other ghosts, depending, sometimes you could have real long conversations with them, and they'll get, and other times they'll like lose interest in you and move away or whatever. But they're still there. You could still like pester them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I do. I take the skull and kind of walk around in a big circle around the ghost, and showing the ghost the skull and the skull to ghost as I do so, and I begin to intone a little bit of a chant as I do so. Not really saying anything in particular, just making some noises as I do it. It doesn't take very long at all to do this, but
it
finally,
sounds cool.
Mhm.
It's very scary sounding. But I finally say, you are an agent who can speak to me now?
Yes. But it's going to be the same thing as the spell. You're going to have the X amount of questions.
Yeah, it's 5 actual questions. Yep. And I'm actually more like just stating facts at this point. So you are an agent that can speak to me now. You may call me the bringer of darkness if that is your desire. I can help you end your false life, should you desire it.
I'm on my way. My death of my mortal body has unleashed the binding that has kept my soul from me. It is making its journey now.
Very interesting.
Can we hear this, or can just Ashe?
Nope, just Ashe.
Thought so. Damn it! What's he saying?
And I kind of turn to you. You notice my normal, completely black eyes are glowing red again, which they sometimes do.
So, and Morgan is going to cast Detect Thoughts on Ashe. He's coming. He's off the horse and he's standing next to Talon now, and so he's going to read Ashe's mind as he has this conversation.
Now he can resist that, correct?
No. Surface thoughts. Actually, let me double check that. I think surface thoughts I just get if I want to probe deeper.
Yeah, that's what
and like really try to crack into his head. That's what they can resist.
Yeah, but like this surface thoughts are actually there's no save. You just start reading them.
That's very handy to have.
Okay, so that being the case, because this is technically a conversation between him and his spirit, you're going to pick all of that up.
Right.
You won't be able to pick up any of the deeper thoughts of what Ashe is actually thinking about whatever the conversation is, though. So.
Actually, the first thought that comes to mind is, why in the hells am I doing this? I should get on a horse and ride out of here right now. That's the first thought that like floods your mind. And I'm going to push you backwards. It's so strong. Realize that everything else I'm doing is completely going through the motions. That's all I'm doing at this point.
I am just watching out for danger. That's what I'm doing.
As is the NPC Trent.
We're down to 1 NPC.
So then I'm looking at the ghostly thing, and then as my last action, as I finish casting the spell, I actually toss the skull at the ghost, in some magical way it actually connects and starts to slowly spin, and then kind of like almost solidifying for the briefest of moments or of time here. It's like hovering in the air. They're like conjoined again. And then I say, I understand you were on a mission and saw some papers that have meaning to some of my companions here, and that you will be able to explain in detail for them. Please explain them to me now.
The papers I took from Riftkrag had to do with an ancient wizard named Caraptus. And you sense that's the end of that answer.
All right, he's and I've kind of turned to the group at large. He's useless. The ancient papers had to do with the Wizard of Caractus.
Did it say how?
Do you have any specific questions for this worthless one? And I
Yes, I was about
definitely
to ask.
spit those words at the ghost.
I would like to know if he learned how to stop Caraptus from entering this realm.
I think we need a little bit more than a yes or no question.
How do we stop Caraptus from entering this realm?
And I turn back and I say, specifically, what did the papers say about stopping Caraptus from entering this realm at this time?
The papers spoke of the gathering of things that might activate a gateway. A gateway.
Gathering of things that might activate a gateway.
A gateway located here in the Bandit Kingdoms, the ancient lands in the home of Caraptus.
So I relay that to the others about the activating a gateway and the gathering of things that might activate a gateway in the home of Caractus.
This guy, man.
Well,
Like
he's not happy. I mean,
we used all 5.
oh, come on. For dramatic sake, I'm definitely not going to give it all to you on one question.
And I turn to the others and I say, this one is more useless than most.
I don't say this
Morgan
one.
actually
Endured such a foul,
agree with Ashe.
worthless apparition.
I'm kind of agreeing with Ashe too, but I don't say that out loud.
What other questions might you have for it? And of course, all of these insults are hurled directly at the ghost. The ghost is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's helping it. Yeah. You thought the first couple answers were obscure.
What are these?
Yeah, so Morgan's getting kind of frustrated, and he's like, "For Christ's sake, he is the only person who saw this incredibly important document. What is everything you remember about it? Give us every detail. We have limited time."
I say, oh, don't worry. I'll be bringing him with us, and we'll be questioning him every 10 days until he gets all that he knows.
Please remind him that his mission comes directly from the Raven Queen herself, and that while he may have failed in life, he could still succeed in death.
His mission doesn't come from the Raven Queen. He's just like the other guys. His soul was taken from him.
Yeah, well, you know what? His soul's going to stay taken, the fucker.
Well, the witches.
I got a direct line to the queen, and
away.
I'm going to say, don't take this asshole back, man.
Okay, so what's the third question?
What are these things that will open the gateway? Because if we can stop them, we can stop this from happening.
And I turn back to it and I say, be known or be aware that I will bring you with, and I will continue to torment you until you give straight answers. So if you'd like me to go away, it would be in your best interest to give good answers now.
And I got to point out, Steve, this is why he will never be a cleric of Cuthbert. Okay, so you ask him what those things are, and he goes, "The gate is activated by souls."
Oh.
Did he say by souls?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
Cool.
We have 2 questions.
So he's the one who snuck in and did this. Refresh my memory. Do we know how he got in there and stole this? Was it like, with that, like, yeah, I can't remember. Was it just like some special ability he had, or does he have intel that might be valuable
Well, Trent
about Riftkrag in general?
No, Trent told you about what happened. Is like, okay, Trent and his boys were a group, just like your guys, a group of people that had their souls taken from them, and they were thrust into the Bandit gang.
Right. But specifically, he was the one of them who was able to gain entry.
Yes,
and steal the thing. Right, like it was.
He was a very accomplished thief. He's not a wizard or anything. He's just a really good sneak.
Now remind me, did he, and by he I mean Trent, tell us what happened to these papers?
Yeah, the guys who attacked him took them back.
Okay, so the papers are back in Riftkrag.
Yep. The information that they collected while they were there, the Iusians seem to have been collecting them, and he stole them from out of a secret chamber in there.
We should ask him if he can tell us how we would break into where those papers were originally found.
Right.
That what the group desires.
How many questions? We got 2 left.
We have 2 more.
We have 2 remaining, and then we have
for
to
10
wait
days.
10 days. And
So-
then we can ask 5 more.
We need to know where I agree where these papers are, because this spirit is very tight-lipped. Perhaps because his lips have been eaten by dogs.
That would do it.
Yeah, I'm sure that doesn't.
I am
help.
also concerned that Ayuz is either supporting what the fuck is this guy's name again?
Caraptus?
Caraptus, thanks. That he is supporting Caraptus's return, or that he is trying to prevent it. I do not know.
Who was the guy who like critted on the knowledge of Caraptus?
Morgan was.
Yeah.
Okay, Morgan, you know for a fact that is not what would be going on, because you know for a fact Caraptus is essentially a being on the level of Ayuz.
Right. We talked about. Okay, yeah.
So essentially, you're talking about Ayuz.
He's not going to want to share.
He's not going to.
Right.
Let's put it this way: you know for a fact he's probably not bringing this dude back unless he had some way of controlling him.
Yeah.
Right.
And because I can tell you that I have a message from my queen, spoken to me by the raven that you saw earlier. And he warned me that while I will make many enemies during my journey, one of which, shall I continue, will be Ayuz. So there is something more to the plot. That being said, I agree with Wynden that we need to know where these papers are and how to find them and how to get to them, I guess I should say, because we would have found them once we know where they are. You get the idea.
All right, I turn back to the ghost and I give it my most menacing trying to menace a ghost. And then I ask the question.
So the question was, does he know how to get into Riftkrag and get the papers?
No, well,
how
we
is-
know he knows.
How is the best
How?
way to get into Riftkrag and find the paper legs?
Yeah.
How do we-
Specifically, how did he get in there and get to them?
I got in over the wall.
we can't hear you.
I got in over the wall and through a secret door.
God damn. Fucking guy, man. You know what? I say
Hey,
we
it
just
says
bring him
in-
back every 10 days anyway.
It
just to
says-
see how he's doing.
Now, I got to
How
point
does he
out.
feel about his soul never being?
I got to point out that it says when you talk to an undead soul that
Yep.
they can be as cooperative as they want to,
Right,
or
right,
as
right.
uncooperative. And you guys sure are helping the cooperative part along. after everything he's told you, it's been insult. Oh, and by the way, every 10 days, baby. Woo!
Well, to be fair, what has he told us? He told us
Nothing.
it was about Caraptus. We already knew it was about Caraptus. He told us they were opening a gate. We already knew that too, right? They were bringing Caraptus.
Nope, you didn't know that. You know that.
Like, maybe not that there was a gate, but how else is Caraptus going to come here? We knew the whole point of what we're trying to do is stop Caraptus from coming.
Right.
We talked about that last time, right?
Portal
Yeah.
gate, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's semantics.
Wynden, I'm not a
We knew the
wizard.
souls were involved.
Well,
You haven't told us anything.
maybe you should ask better questions nicely.
We asked him what was on the incredibly valuable document that he read, and he said stuff about Caraptus. Like,
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know what you know. He thought he was dropping a dime, man. He's like, yeah, bitches, this is about Caraptus. Oh, you already knew that. My bad.
what is Harry Potter about? It's about Harry Potter.
Yeah, but it didn't go. It didn't go. What happened was we already know it's about Caraptus. We need better information. Can you please give us that? No, it was like, bitch, we already know it's about Caraptus. I'm gonna bring it back every 10 days until you
That's because he's the worst CI.
Ever.
That's good.
Annoyed is the appropriate response to
Right.
really stupid
Oh yeah.
answer.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I
So
love
again,
it.
I think both we and this spirit are both in the right here. Like we're
Yep. It's all
we have
good.
one more question.
Yeah, we should ask. Oh god.
Where in we need to just find this guy's not going to help us. We need to find these papers. Where within Cragmire? What's this place called?
Cragmaw. It's Riftkrag.
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 Yeah,
Right,
Cragmire.
totally different adventure.
Where within Cragmire?
Riftkrag.
Riftkrag.
God damn it! I'm sorry.
Oh, wait. Hey, Adam, it's called a hunter's mark. Oh, good times. All right, cool.
So if we could find out where in Riftkrag this paperwork was when he found it, because they may have just put it back there.
I think maybe rather than, well, it's going to take us a while to get to Riftkrag. We could save that for the next time we talk to him.
Well, it's only you're a
Because we
day.
will be talking.
Because we will. Yeah, no, that we didn't get anything this time. We'll have to think and try
We're only a
again.
day out of Cragmire.
Well, you're a day. You're a day away from the rift, and that's where you're going. Is really close to where the Rift Crag Castle's at.
Oh, okay, shit. All right. I
Yeah.
didn't realize we were so close.
Yeah, you're really close, actually.
Well, what else does everybody want to ask him? I want to
I'm
find out where this
thinking-
paper.
Trying to think of a good way to formulate a question here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be some intel on that document about Caraptus more than he's coming.
Now, can he hear us or just?
No, he only hears me.
What if you guys were to ask?
Well, you probably shouldn't help us.
No, I shouldn't. Yeah.
It's nice of you to do so, but
But then you gotta wait 10 days. All right, no, you're right. I shouldn't say it.
this is our.
I'm not here. I'm the GM.
So let's maybe take a step back and think about what we're trying to. So Caraptus is coming. We want to stop
By the way,
Caraptus
we
from
only have
coming.
10
What do we know
minutes
about
to finish the
Oh,
conversation.
shit. Correct. This is coming. The noose is getting fat.
All right, so we want to stop Caraptus from coming. We know he is going to
It has to
open
do
a
with the
gate.
souls.
We know he's going to use souls to do it.
Your souls,
He
by
is
the way.
very powerful.
Yeah.
Do we know, or is this just something I think, that Caraptus is there can be only one creepy dude with the ring? Is that
we
just
don't
something I
know
was
that,
thinking? Or
but
is this-
I mean, it seems like that's a contender at least for that. person.
Actually,
Mhm.
Adam knows the answer to that.
Yeah. The answer is yes.
Okay.
Well, sort of.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I'm gonna say yes to them.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not
all
giving them all the detail on that because it's
right. Okay.
Do we know how Caraptus got sealed away in the first place, or did he not get sealed away, and where he's from is his home plane?
You told. Okay, so I'll drop some more of the crit that was Morgan knowing about Caraptus because it was your hobby. Caraptus was the biggest badass before the migrations. He basically, I'm going to say it maybe wrong. Tenocha, which is 10, Tenocha. Okay, so the Duchy of 10, that's where it gets its name from. Tenocha was essentially this. It was the only it was like a civilized place for the Flan. Okay, the Flan are like Native Americans. Okay, but this was a kingdom. Okay, and Caraptus was a wizard who wound up ruling it. And then he eventually was kicked out by some really powerful priest with assistance from a god. Okay? He went around and he killed this super, super high level, speaking in D&D terms here, druid that was essentially the main druid guy for the Flan, who happened to live on White Plume Mountain. Okay? He kills him and then continues his study of what it means to... He was all about power. And he just needed more time. Sure. So there was a thing of wanting to become sort of maybe a lich or whatever. But essentially what ends up happening is he does this tour of the force, collects all these powerful magical things, brings them to White Plume, and then disappears. Nobody really knows what ended up happening to Caraptus at the time. Because essentially, even after he had been kicked out of Tenocha and was living on White Plume Mountain, he enacted a curse that destroyed that civilization. He wiped it out. So he ruled. He was the man, right? And he just disappeared. He also, in the studies of what you've learned, was a guy who knew and did work with another guy by the name of Asarak. Okay. Who is an extremely powerful lich. Okay. So the thing of it is no one really knows what ended up happening to Caraptus. He was on top of his game. He was the most powerful dude around. He was making himself more powerful, and then he was gone.
So, now, from what I was told by the Raven Queen, where do I know where he is, I just know that he's trying to come to this realm?
He's in the realm of shadows.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, Caraptus now resides in the realm of shadows.
So I'm the only motherfucker who knows what happened to him.
Yes, you're the only
guy.
To
me, not.
Well, you could tell them. You could tell them right now if you wanted to.
I mean, if it comes up.
See, and you guys got a nerve to talk about this spirit.
This is the Shatter Guy way.
Yeah, that's it.
We're not very forthcoming with information.
Yeah.
So right, but
if they we know that they say we want to, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if they start to say, well, we want to know where this guy is, then I will tell them where he is.
Well, Morgan was just saying that he was he was speaking out loud about, well, we know that Caraptus has disappeared. He disappeared a long time ago. He's sort of talking out loud, I would assume, right? You're trying to formalize what your question is.
Yeah. That's Morgan is more or less doing what I'm doing, where it's all right, let's assess what we know and what we don't know and try to figure out what the most important thing to learn is.
So in that case, then I would say to Morgan that, Caraptus is now in the realm of shadows. And he is trying to gain power by coming to this realm.
All right, so
What if we ask the spirit, what is the key to stopping the return of Caraptus?
I think that's as good as anything else.
Or, well, because, I should say, or...
It's a little vague. Room to thwarting him is the key to stopping him.
Now, we do know that these souls are key to him coming back to this realm.
Right.
But what we do not know is where these souls are and how to send them back to their rightful owners.
Right.
Or how it will be used.
Well, I think we might know where some of them are.
We don't.
Wynden,
our good
no,
guy counterparts
actually,
do.
I do, or at least I think I do.
Wynden and Raleigh probably have an idea because they know pretty much where they were probably taken from.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because we do know that what's his name took them. That's true. Well, I don't know that, but you guys do. Yeah.
Yeah, but they could have moved them anywhere. Like all we know is where we were when they took them from us.
True.
You
But we
who
know
knows
where
if
to
they're still
start,
there.
or you would know where to start looking anyway.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's up to you guys.
I would still like to know
Well,
where
maybe
these papers are.
We could just ask him. I don't know. All right, so
I would like to know
beyond the
papers
souls, we know
are
this.
with
We
him.
How about we ask what are Iuz's plans to stop the return of Caraptus?
We don't know for certain that he
would
wants
be
to
in the
stop him.
papers.
He, if he has a way to control him, he still could be the one behind trying to bring him about. If you have someone who are as strong as you are, that's an adversary unless you have some sort of leverage or something, and then it's a very powerful weapon. Iuz's hold on the demons has seemed to slip. It would make total sense for him to be looking for something to supplement that.
We also do not know what are in these papers and if this even mentions such. So if we ask this man this question and he does not know, then we have wasted our last question. I think we need to find these papers and then we will no longer need this man.
I agree.
Okay.
And I turn and say specifically, when you located the papers, where in the castle, building, structure were they located? Specifically, the room, the desk, the library, no bookcase, whatever they were, specifically, where were they?
In the vault.
Oh, you motherfucker. Keep him alive for as long as you can.
He's dead. What do you mean keep him alive?
He can't rest if Ashe keeps bringing him back, right?
No, he'll go on. He just keeps getting called back.
So
every time he gets his slippers on, a nice comfy blanket on the couch, puts the TV on, somebody rings the doorbell. That's what I want.
Yeah. So he says the vault. And then
Morgan will turn
and
to
then
Trent and be like, I do not care for your friend.
Then the spirit laughs and he says, your spirits are being taken to free Caraptus, and mine is now free.
You wish. I kind of spin my finger and his skull stops spinning and slowly drops to the ground.
Plus,
I then
I
collect.
guarantee. Yeah, I guarantee that the Raven Queen is snatching his soul before it gets to rest.
So
This guy's name was
Trent,
what?
Trent goes, hey, I just worked with the guy.
Darton.
Darton.
Well, it was a good try, Trent. Everyone. Yeah. So
Trent, how involved were you and your team in getting these documents? Was it a team effort?
No.
And the stealthy guy was the one who just executed, or was it all Darton's plan? How much do you know?
There was no plan. We were just deciding to go down to the Rift. And, well, we were assigned to go to the Rift and to fuck around and cause problems down there. Darton had a great idea. It's like, hey, why don't I sneak in, see if there's anything I could steal of value? We said, sure. That's it.
And he's the only one who went in the actual.
He's the only one that had the skills. None of us did. I mean, that guy was like a walking shadow.
Right. Too bad we don't have anyone like that.
Well, I can enter this place with ease. Yes.
Okay. Well, it seems like we're not very far away from it, and as we know, it should be left somewhat less guarded than normal due to the mass movement of Ios's forces up north.
Oh, there's a lot of people still there. Trust me.
Well, I'm sure there are.
I imagine they will also become suspicious when their scouts do not return.
I don't know about you guys, but I kind of want my soul back, and I know one thing for sure. My soul was taken in earnest. I'm going back. I want to go, and I want to see if I can find it. I'm done being somebody's puppet to go around and mess with Iu's stuff.
Oh, speaking of puppets, Trent, have you seen...
Hi, my name is Mr. Joey.
That would be hilarious.
Wynden this whole time is just been waiting for that opening. We thought that he was practicing his, his crossbow, but ventriloquism this entire time.
That's right. Speaking of puppets, have you seen any of your fellow soulless been manipulated like a big old meat puppet from afar? Because I have, and it was unsettling.
Oh, yeah. I saw it, too. I saw it actually before we left.
Oh, okay.
There was this guy, Gregor. He was like some kind of frenzied berserker type of really nasty northern barbarian type guy. Don't ask me what he was doing down there, but he was in our group to start off with. Played along just like everybody else. We're getting ready to leave. Man, this guy went hog wild after... what the hell was that guy's name? Had the gnome with him all the time. Real creepy.
Garner?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're like in the courtyard, all saddled up, getting ready to take off, right? And this guy, Gerner, and his gnome go walking across the courtyard. He goes balls out towards him, like he's going to kill him. And the gnome does some kind of hocus pocus stuff. He stops, and damnedest thing I ever seen. He took his big axe and he planted it in his own head.
Yep. Okay, so yeah. I've seen something similar to that effect, and I don't think you need to be very close to do it either. That's one of the reasons obviously I'd like my soul back, but that made it clear for me that I was in danger of not being in control of my own body, which is not acceptable.
Well, to tell you the truth, I think they get kind of bored of keeping track of us, maybe. I mean, after things went shit up for us over here at the Rift and all this happened and Norjor was able to get us back into the tangles, I mean, nothing happened. I mean, hell, Norjor works with the Resistance in there now. Nothing's ever happened to him. I don't know. All I know, it's more preferable to, like, walking around here.
Yep.
It does seem that we've traveled a long way to simply turn around. But
our path lies.
I don't know. I don't think going after this document is necessarily the best course of action. We don't have a lot in the way of intel, and we don't even know how useful it would be. And it seems like a big risk, a big task. For
part of my saying, but who the fuck's Caraptus? What the hell is this shit you guys are talking about?
Caraptus is the beast that has stolen your souls.
My soul? Tobal Gurner stole my soul.
No, Tobal Gurner is an errand boy.
He is a pawn in this game.
Just like you.
Well, I'm a pawn, all right, until I can find my soul.
Just like you, and just like this one, and just like this one.
The thing about a pawn, though, Trent, is if it makes it to the other end of the board, it becomes a queen.
Yes, but to go
dancing queen,
young and sweet, and only 17.
You see what I'm a steal with, Trent.
So basically, what I'm hearing is you guys need to know everything about this Caraptus cat that you can.
Yes, and we need to stop him, or your souls are forfeit, one way or the other.
Okay. Well, let me get this straight. Caraptus is the one that took our souls. Why?
Yes.
Obviously, according
to enter this realm.
To enter this realm, whatever this gate is. Okay, so there's that. Well, I don't want to do that. So I want to find my soul, and then I want to fucking kill this guy for trying to do that to me.
Right. I'd like to find my soul too. The problem is, I mean, do we even know how to put it back in our bodies? Like, I mean, do we just
do not?
Yeah.
Well, who would? However, I heard you were a wizard. You don't know nothing about that?
I'm not a wizard. I shoot things.
Well, who would know?
One of the gnomes would know.
What about those Circle of 8 chumps?
Oh, surely at least one of them would have an idea. But we're kind of below.
I mean, Greyhawks are kind of a long ways away, but I mean, I don't know. Does anybody know any wizards?
Just him.
I'm not one. Morgan sort of seems to be like a wizard.
Does this
sort of seems to be?
I don't honestly know what you are. You share a body with Raleigh, so I'm sorry if I don't know how to classify you.
I don't know what I've ever done to you, Wynden, to make you say such unkind things. I am classically trained.
Well, that's good to know.
You're classically trained in what?
He bows real low, and he says, I am Morganar, your elder dear. First in my class at the Academy of Wizardry and blah, blah, da, dee, da, da, da.
Well spoken, sir.
It's all spoken in a foreign language.
The greatest Academy in all of the Woodlands.
So
yeah,
you should
come to names on the top of my head.
So you should know some wizards.
Yes, I know some wizards.
Why don't we go ask them?
There are many different branches of magic. While I am a wizard, I cannot speak with the dead. That is a more holy type of magic, and I am unfamiliar whether removing someone's soul is. Well, actually, can I? What I know? What magic would that fall into? Is that like Arcana? It would be something I know about, or is that more holy magic and it's not?
No, necromancy is basically what it is. It's the removing of.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So, and then I mean, I can roll if you want, but I'm assuming you would probably know that. Then.
No, you know that because I mean that is that's the whole bag of liches, man. That's their deal.
A bag of liches.
Right? There you go, Adam.
Everyone's favorite snack.
I mean, liches
So
are.
I do know wizards, but I am from I am from the Shieldlands. I'm not from here. Everyone I know is from the Shieldlands. It would be
The Shieldlands
quite the journey.
It is a far way, but it's not like that far.
Ooh.
Let's see. Let me put it in perspective state-wise. If you were in the Bandit Kingdoms, we'll say that's Texas, and you wanted to go to the Shieldlands would be Nevada.
Okay. I mean, that's still, it's got to be.
It's far away, yeah.
I say,
Yeah.
you say that a gnome and maybe multiple gnomes have stolen your souls, yes?
Yeah, there is a whole bevy of gnomes that seemed involved in this in some capacity. Salus was one of them.
And actually, chime in Morgan. That's because Caraptus's #1 ally is a whole kingdom of gnomes that he didn't so much conquer them as they came to work for him.
Sure.
And his guys were gnomes. He had all these gnomes doing all this different shit for him.
Yeah. This guy's got gnomes. The Raven Queen has fucking awesome Shadow Kai. So we'll see who's cooler.
All right, so looking at the map.
Maybe we talk to.
No.
And that's exactly what they look like, too.
So if we're looking at the map, we're kind of by the rift. County of Ernst would be northeast of us, right?
Let me put go on to.
While you do that, I say, but gentlemen,
Hold on.
you have one of these gnomes in your employ.
You also have the dead one's remains with you.
I think that's what he's talking about now.
Yeah, Salus.
I don't know if that's necessarily in our employ.
That's his employ.
Or if, like a security blanket for Ashe.
Yeah.
She is currently acting as my scythe carrier.
Okay,
He
so
has taken upon the mantle.
I don't have the map here of the larger area, but okay. So like, if you see where I'm pinging right over there.
We're still on just grassland.
Yeah, no, we don't see anything.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I didn't move it over there for you guys. I'm sorry. That's how rude. There you go. Okay, so all right, over this way.
Yeah.
You start going that way. You start going towards the Shieldlands. You also start going towards.
Okay, so it's like the exact opposite direction of Ernst.
Yep. You also start going toward what used to be the Horn Society and other bad guys and stuff. So I mean, there's.
Yeah. I know a guy who'd be interested in that, but he's dead.
Yeah. So I mean.
So, gentlemen, the way I see it, there are 3 paths before us. We can continue to the rift and try to break into the vault and gather what intel we can on Caraptus there. We can head towards the county to try to retrieve, some of our souls and see what knowledge, see who has them and what knowledge we can extract from those people. Or we can head west to my home, and I am certain there are people there who can help us.
I think perhaps Ernst is a good idea because 1, our souls might be there, and 2, I'm sure there's at least some of the gnomes around still who we could find and perhaps either spy upon or directly interrogate to learn more.
Your mission, from what I understand, in order to keep your souls and to prevent any harm among you is to ruin Ayuz's plans. Yes.
That's what we've been told. Yes.
My mission,
Why?
which I believe should also be your mission, is to stop Caraptus, because he is the one who has ultimately stolen your souls. We can do 2 of these things within the next couple of days very easily by collecting these papers that Ayuza's forces want. And it will also give us insight.
Excuse me, I sneezed.
But yeah, we should also fucking talk to Salas. I was trying to get them to do that before. They wouldn't do it, so I want to go get these papers.
It's been it hasn't been 10 days since we last talked to her. So
No, it hasn't. It hasn't.
So
When the fuck do we talk to Salas?
on the way into Kinmeet.
yeah.
Okay.
So we can learn more about our adversary. Perhaps learn more yes, that's fair. Learn more about how possibly to restore your souls.
Or to finally put them to rest. That would work too.
Sure,
Indeed.
that's seeming more and more likely. But yes.
And we are already here.
I do hate inefficiency.
I know you do.
Well,
if we do not act, we will have many, many, many more spirits at unrest, wherever they are. We should take action and move into this facility to retrieve these papers.
Very well. That's yes. We should at least scope it out and see how incredibly suicidal it is to go in. And if it's only moderately suicidal, I suppose we can make a go of it.
At saying that, Trent goes, "Well, you guys have fun with that, because I'm here to tell you, it's suicidal. I'm going to Ernst. I've seen it. I've seen what's there. And I don't care how many orcs you took up out of that thing. There's still 5 other castles fully manned that are around this place. The rift is key to Ayuz. That's where he gets all his money out of this Bandit kingdoms. Do you think he gives a shit about any place else around here? He wanted the rift."
We're not trying to overthrow the rift, Trent. It's a stealth operation.
Oh, I get that. And no offense, I'm looking at you guys. Not very stealthy to get in there and do what Darton did. No offense.
None taken.
I take it, man.
Well,
Yeah, no, as well you should.
well, Trent, we wish you well. Perhaps we'll meet up again at some point.
If you make your way back down to Ernst, into Radagast, if you go to the Lucky Coin, look for me there. If I'm still around, if I don't have my soul, or if I do, you gentlemen have a good time. And he turns his horse
And as right before he walks away, I turn to this and say, "Why would we look for him?"
Well, it's always good.
Is it wise to let him leave?
Oh yeah, he's not going to cause any problems.
Yeah, I mean, we only killed his friend.
And at that, Morgan kind of he's like, huh. And he is kind of watching him right off, and he says, "That is one man making a very long journey to Ernst through enemy territory. He bears us no allegiance. If he is caught, if he is tortured, he will tell them what he knows."
Well, what he knows is
And the odds of that are extremely high.
What he knows is we're going
Extremely high.
to break into Riftkrag. I mean, that's all he knows. That's
exactly. He knows where we're going to be. We're going to be somewhere we don't want anyone to know. And then he pulls out his coin purse and he goes, "Tell Raleigh to ask him to help." And he lets coins jingle, like fall from one hand into the other, and the jingling of the coins brings Raleigh right back. And he's like, sounded like 47 gold pieces. It is 47 gold pieces. What's going on, guys?
Hey, Raleigh. What's up?
I feel really well rested.
Good. I'm not really sure exactly why Morgan summoned you. But
He wants you to help against the Trent issue.
do we have to kill Trent?
Receding horse.
I mean,
Morgan's words were, have Raleigh ask Trent to help.
Oh, gotcha. Morgan asked us to ask you.
That's not how I interpreted it.
Right? That isn't how he interpreted it.
Morgan asked us to ask you to ask Trent to help us go to the Riftkrag.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, hold on. Hey, Trent! And he goes like running off after him.
Trent will actually stop because it's not like he went balls out. He just started riding away. So he'll stop and he'll turn his horse around and he'll come back up.
So he goes in. So Trent, we were all just talking, and we all really like you, and you've been to the Rift before, and I'm pretty sure we know somebody somewhere who's going to be able to teleport us to the county when we're done. And we think you should just hang out with us and help us, and then we can all go to the county together. So what do you say? Why don't you help us break into the tower in Cragmar or whatever the Riftkrag thing he's going to cast suggestion.
He's going to cast suggestion? Okay. That's a wisdom save, right? Or...
Yep.
It is.
Okay.
He's a ranger.
Let's see here. He gets a +3 to this.
If he passes, I'll just cast it again.
Nope. He fails.
Nope.
There we go.
He fails. He's like, you know somebody who could teleport us there?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Well, that would help out a lot, because if you could teleport us there, we wouldn't have to ride all the way. It'd be so much faster. I'd be with that. I'm okay with that. But what do you want to know?
Right? Yeah. I mean, things tend to work out.
Yeah, that doesn't really answer my question, but I mean, who's going to try it? I mean, I don't think you guys understand what you're looking to do.
Well, that's why we need your help. You're our inside guy. You've been there before, aren't you?
No, I've been to the outside. I haven't been inside the place. Are you kidding me? No.
Well, then we'll all figure it out together.
Well, let's talk more about. And he's following you back as you're talking. He's like,
sure.
Well, who's this guy you know that can teleport us?
Well, so push comes to shove. A buddy of mine knows a whole bunch of wizards just a little bit to the west. So we go a little bit to the west, and wizards with their poof to magic stuff. They turn you into laser beams. They shoot you across the world. It's super cool.
Okay. Well,
you ever been a laser beam before? It's going to be awesome.
Oh, I have never been a laser beam. I mean, I can take you guys. I mean, I don't understand why
you're with us. You're with us.
I can take you there and show you where it's at. But okay. Who's going in? That's what I want.
Welcome to the press gang, Trent.
And he's just full of questions, but it's like he's still like, he's like a kid. Well, why is the sky blue? Well, why so he's just he's with you guys, and
he's asking Raleigh questions.
Yes, he's asking.
I just kind of roll my eyes and drift upwards and hope they'd all be quiet.
I turn to Wynden and I say, "Are we not killing this man then today?"
Nope. No, we don't need to do that.
Great news, guys. Trent's with us. He's going to help us break into Riftkrag.
Well, I don't know about all that. I mean, I'll show you where it's at, but you said there was a wizard and teleportation.
No, you're going to help us, Trent.
Well,
showing us where it is helpful.
Yeah, that's
Just
yeah.
Coming along,
That's
it's
not
fine.
what I asked him, though. I asked him to help us break into Riftkrag.
You did.
You want to help me, don't you, Trent?
But this is the thing is he can't, and you can't ask him to do something he can't do, and so he's
I didn't ask him to tell us how to break in. I asked him to help us. Helping us might be
exactly.
Stand guard.
Exactly. And to him, helping you is showing you where Riftkrag is, and then trying to convince you. See, you can't get in there.
I mean, you're the GM.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go with you.
I mean, if you leave it that open to interpretation, helping us could be not killing us. Or like, all right, I'm going to go about my way, but I'm not going to murder you before I go. So I helped you, and your spell is satisfied.
Well, let's put
helping is helping.
Yeah, he's coming along, and he'll be talking to you about what he's doing the entire way. It's not that he's going, "Fuck you! If you're not doing that, I'm leaving." No, he's like, "Well, I can take you there, and I can show you where it's at, but I don't know how you're getting in." You know. It's like he can second guess everything as he's riding with you.
Getting in, Trent. How we're getting in.
I don't want to go in there.
I can
None
get in
of
there.
us want to go in there, but it's necessary.
I would like to go into this establishment.
They have great rolls.
They do.
Salad bar.
Very much so. Okay, so he's on board. I mean, he's going to be talking the entire way, but I mean that's what would happen anyway. So, all right. So, is there anything else you guys are doing now? So,
I want to talk to Wynden more. Actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I turned to.
Actually, I need to talk to. I'm Raleigh now.
Yeah. And I turn to Wynden and I say, I've seen you have an ability to pull weapons out of thin air.
Yes. Yes, only two. I've learned a way to sort of arcanely bond with a couple of them, and I can bring them from wherever they happen to be. I could have left my crossbow at Rook Roost and summon it right into my hand if I want to. Yes.
So, would you be able to do the same with this Sai here?
Ooh, I'd have to. Boy, I'd have to break.
I haven't touched it yet, and I don't know if I'm going to.
I'd have to break my bond with one of my weapons, and I honestly don't. That thing looks more magical than my normal weapons are. I suppose, in the interest of experimentation, I could try. What exactly do you want done with it?
I don't want to lose it, but I don't want to bring it to you.
Oh,
I want it to be available.
Right.
Potentially.
I mean, I could. That is a fairly big ask of me because, like I said, I would be having to choose which of my weapons I normally use to break my bond with. But, I mean, if you think it would be helpful, I could consider it, I suppose.
Wait, is this like a private conversation? You guys stepped off, or is this in general your shot?
Yeah, we're kind of off to the side.
Okay.
Yeah, you're over there going, yeah, but I can show you where it's at, but it's got walls.
What does the scythe exactly look like? Like, what's it?
Okay, so
it's a Grim Reaper Sai.
It is, but the metal part of it, it doesn't look like, some kind of farming implement where it's been well used. The blade is black metal.
Yeah.
And the wood is highly polished black wood, like
ebony, basically.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, you can tell that it's wood. You can see the different, like the veins of the wood in it and
the
stuff.
grain of it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not, the sword that you saw Adam using looked like obsidian. One big piece of obsidian. This is highly polished black wood.
Okay.
But there are no imperfections on it.
Right. It's clearly not a mundane thing. I'll say honestly, do you know what would happen to me if I even touch that thing? Will I just instantly die? I mean,
There's a chance, I suppose.
okay, well, kind of going to be a bit of a deal breaker for me, I'm afraid, if that's the case.
Yes, that will not enable me to bring it back.
No, yeah, that's the takeaway. Clearly, I don't want to inconvenience you that way. So, yeah. Well, why don't you ponder some more whether that thing's instant death for anyone but Creepy Salas or you, and then we could talk more about it some other time.
Very well, you raise a good point. Then I kind of motion Salas to just kind of follow me around.
She does.
I just go
a
like,
chunk of her falls off. Finally, she's more skeleton than zombie at this point.
I just think to myself, like, maybe I should have stayed on the farm.
You definitely should have stayed down.
Yeah. All right.
Oh well, c'est la vie.
Okay. So you guys start riding. As you start making away, Trent starts picking away out and what have you, and he's like, "All right, so okay, so it's going to be really hard to get up towards Riftkrag. The way we did it is we moved the last couple of days just at night. So we're going to have to probably very soon leave our horses here. And you guys can see, too, because by the time you got to this area where you found the bones and all this different stuff, you could see in the distance, because it's a lot of rolling hills and what have you, and around the rift itself, it's just not like flat and then it drops down in. It's like the ground around it starts to like move up a little bit into like the ever smallest of foothills and what have you, and so it's like in the distance you can see the rise of what's leading up towards there. But if you're in that area, if you're on the rise, and actually after only riding for another hour, you begin to see the faintest like bump on the horizon. And when that comes into view, Trent's all like, that is Riftkrag. Now, what we're going to have to do is we'll have to leave the horses here and only travel at night to get up there. We should be able to make it up there, I would hope, if we all bore out. We could make it up there in one night, but I don't recommend that. Essentially what we could do is we'll move up to an extent, stop, camp for the day, and wait for night to come again so that when we actually reach the Riftkrag, there's enough night so that whoever's going to do this suicide mission of going in can go in.
I agree with this plan. We must move in the shadows of the night.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. Here's the problem. Here's the real big issue. Once we get so far within the vicinity of the Riftkrag, we're dealing with humanoids, orcs, hobgoblins, and they got fucking, don't ask me where they came from, but they got gnolls that they got working up in there. These fuckers can see at night. So,
they cannot see what cannot be seen, however.
That's
okay. So,
I'll probably ignore zombies.
Yeah. Just for your information, there's no one dead up in there. Krasner, he's not a necromancer, and it's not really his bag, and he doesn't dig on it. So.
Do you know what he specializes in?
Art.
No, I don't.
Early romantic period.
I know one thing. He's Boneheart, and that means he's badass.
Right.
So
Before we would start up on our way, I would actually recast Animate Dead at 4th level and raise Corewood as well as Solace.
Merry little band here.
Yes.
I love the fact. I love the fact that he mispronounces everybody's name, because it's like he's instinctually just saying it to piss them off, even though they're just, yes, Corwood.
Corwood and Sal Ash.
Yeah. Sal Ash. That's
I'm gonna
awesome.
say to Talon, I presume with all the things I've seen, you can see in the dark. Is that correct?
Yes, I can.
And I'll turn to, I'm assuming Morgan, and are you able to see in the dark as well?
I can, yes.
Lucky bastards. All right, well, I can't. So there's something to think about, but yes.
And Trent goes, yeah, I can't either. That's why, we only got as close as we did because of the moonlight. And then, it wasn't me that did any of that stuff. It was my boy, what's his bucket, which I'm forgetting because I'm looking
Yeah,
at
you're your boy, indeed.
Darton.
You guys are real close, I
Yeah.
can
I
tell.
have his skull here if you'd like to talk to it.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I mean, Darton's the one that had all that stuff down. He was the one that could do all that stuff, not me.
Well, I mean, if there's an actual infiltration to occur, it looks to me like Talon's probably going to be the best one suited for it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey,
Gentlemen, I have
you
an
could always
idea.
go into the rift and try and talk to Zavrik. I mean,
Who?
Zavrik, the bloody, the guy who runs the rift. Krasner doesn't run the rift. Zavrik does.
Is he associated with Ayuz?
No, Zavrik's his own man. The only reason that Krasner is able to pull the silver out of there is because Zavrik lets him. They've got a relationship worked out. Zavrik's a bandit. He's the one who runs all the guys who went down in there hiding from everything. But it's the rift. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on down there. So anybody who's a Bandit King native can roll this. Just give me a D20 roll. So that'd be
Straight D20.
Wyndham. We got Morgan right now, so it wouldn't be Morgan.
No, I got Raleigh.
God.
Or wait, no,
Okay.
I am Morgan. No, wait.
Yeah.
Who the hell am I?
You were originally.
You are Raleigh. You are Raleigh. Yeah, so you can have Raleigh roll
Rolled
too.
very poorly.
I've
Okay.
never really left Rookroos, so
Yeah.
I am
And
from the
Raleigh doesn't either, so neither of you guys know who Zavrik the Bloody is. But Trent's telling you he runs the rift.
Well, that's interesting. I wonder what he gets out of it then.
What does he get out of it?
Yeah.
Well, what he gets out of it is kickback. Zavrik is, let's put it this way, he's got a lot of people down there. And who do you think's doing the mining? It's not Krasner and the Iuzians. It's Zavrik's boys. There's a relationship worked out currently.
I don't think we're going to have anything to offer Zavrik that he'd be interested in. So.
Well, if he knew that Krasner wasn't there. I'm just saying. Hey, all I know is he's down there, and I mean, I don't know. Let's put it this way. I don't know. I think this is crazy going here anyway.
If we could convince the Savrik to cause a distraction outside the city walls, and we infiltrate and then attack everybody inside.
Yeah,
No, we've tried that. It didn't work
Yeah.
out so well for most
yeah.
some of us.
I don't know if Zavrik would be down with that. See,
Yeah,
he's
here's
sitting
my
pretty
thinking.
sweet right now, you know.
He has access to literal silver mines. I don't
Yeah.
think anything we can offer him is going to persuade him.
Well, the difference the thing is Zavrik has access to silver mines, but he doesn't have access anywhere outside of the rift. Why do you think there's
Everybody wants something.
why do you think there's all those castles around the outside? They're not out there keeping, people out of the rift.
If we talk to this man, we may be able to find out what he wants.
Yeah.
I feel as if I could enter this building and find my way to this vault. However, I am not sure I will be able to open it.
Yeah. I still think it's crazy.
Yes, well, I'm talking to my friends.
Wait a minute.
Oh, snap. All right. I thought I was friends with Raleigh.
We're gonna go break into a vault, and none of us can crack a safe.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about that?
Gentlemen, that is a problem. That's gonna be.
Yeah.
Well, no, it'll be okay. We're gonna have to find somebody to open the safe, though.
Okay.
I think if we find someone like an enemy, a bad guy who can get into the safe, we could probably convince him to open it for us.
Well,
Wizards can cast knock.
Here's the thing. What are you trying to get out of the safe?
We want these
Wait,
papers.
when did
The papers, right?
Yes.
You know how to open it?
Okay.
I
So,
am not a wizard.
and the papers are going to tell you what?
It will give us information on how to defeat Krasner.
Krasner?
You mean
Not Krasner, Caraptus.
Caraptus.
Everybody with the fucking K name. I do not.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Krasner's with a C, but it's just a hard C. Anyway.
No, that's it.
Your mom's a hard.
Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Let me get this straight. You've got a skull and a dude that can talk to somebody who knows this guy with the Caraptus, I think you said his name was.
Yes.
And you got a skull and a guy who stole the papers to begin with. Now, granted, he's a kind of a cheeky bastard, but you guys
But
were
yes, he will not give any information.
well, you guys were kind of dicks to him. Maybe
You
if,
know what? You're being.
But you say that like you could understand anybody except Ashe.
Well, I stood around and listened to you guys be dicks to him. Maybe
I was very.
maybe
nice
if
to him.
I
I
talked
just
to
asked
him,
some questions, and
I could get some better information out of it. So what you're telling me is you got two connections to the answers, but you're more willing to go and try and bust into this castle and steal paperwork in the hopes the answers are there. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Yes.
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 that's-
All right, I just wanted to make sure.
The more you say it, the more exciting it sounds. Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying. I just wanted to make sure.
So we are clear. After the last conversation we had, it seems more likely that we can storm a castle and get the papers than get answers from your friend.
I
That is what
have a
we-
proposal to make. I can ask Nerul what our best course of action would be.
that's something? Like, what do you
We
do?
would
Just
need
like-
to formulate the question very carefully.
So you are a cleric of Nerul.
And tomorrow, we could ask the question.
At that, when Trent says that, he just turns and looks straight at Wynden.
Yeah, he's just gonna kind of shrug and.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, I'm here to help out my buddy Raleigh as
Yep.
best I can.
Much appreciated, Trent.
Yeah, but I'm not going to kill myself for you either.
No.
No, of course not. Of
Yeah.
course not. No, we want to do this nice and safe.
Yeah. That would be the long road to Ernst, asking questions to dead people on the way to stealing your souls back. Just throw that out there.
Again, you were there. We asked them the questions. There were. Oh, well, actually, you know what? Raleigh wasn't there. Never mind.
Yeah.
This is tricky sometimes, guys.
Right? Ain't it, though? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay.
How
so
about
we're-
this? Why don't we bed down for the night? I'll
Yep.
find us a nice little place. We can hash this over and we'll figure it all out. Because it's quitting time.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so you're just a little outside of the rift. You guys are going to find a nice little place to bed down. And that'll be it. That'll be the end of the episode. So, hey, I want to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in. I want to say thank you for watching. I want to say thank you for listening. And I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Feliz Navidad, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever the hell you do during this holiday season. Or you could be like me and just wish it to be over. I mean, whatever's good with you. But we will be taking 2 weeks off of the Bandit Kingdoms.
But we're going to have a super exciting holiday-themed special run by this guy over here once he figures out what he's doing. But check it out, December 26th and January 1st.
That'll be great.
Dun. Good times. Good times. All right. Thank
And
you,
also
everybody.
join us on Friday nights on the return. No, what's it called? The Greyhawk channel.
The Greyhawk channel.
To watch the Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh.
That's right.
That's for the alliteration alone.
Yeah,
I know, right? That's on Fridays at 9 o'clock
same
Eastern time.
9 p.m. Eastern,
Yep.
6 p.m. Pacific.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
And it is a small
Different bat channel, but same bat time.
It is a small dose, so don't miss out because the season only lasts for 3 months.
Yeah.
So you've only
Check it out.
yeah, you can go check out the first episode. It's already up, and the second one will be this coming Friday. So
Sweet.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have a great couple weeks.
Yeah.
You too. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Yeah.
See you next
Thanks,
time.
guys. See you next time. Peace out.
Bye.